Hello, America. Today's show topics include jumping ship already, free college degrees, the biggest cause of climate change, and profiles in history. So, sit back, buckle up, and hang on because we're just getting started.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, how you doing? I'm your host, Daniel Stafford, and you're listening to the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal, and I want to remind you there are many, many ways to listen. So, set this channel as a favorite, like, subscribe, smash the like button wherever you're at. You know, I think tonight we're even on the, where are we at? We're over on the Periscopes, it looks like. Maybe. It says that it's working. I don't know. So, I don't know. If you're over there, hit those little hearts or whatever it is over there. I can't see it, so I don't really know. Anyway, it says that we're doing okay. We've already got people over in the chat room on the YouTube side. We've got Army John. We've got Rebel Road Tactical. That's right. Look, I realize it's been a couple of weeks. But we're back. I'm feeling really good. I'll explain here in just a second. But look, I want to remind you that there are many ways to listen or even watch, for that matter. Right now, you could be watching on Facebook Live or on YouTube, Periscope. There's so many different ways to listen. So wherever you're at, set it as a favorite or subscribe. Hit the alert button so you know when we go live. But if for some strange, crazy reason you do miss the show, you will be able to catch a replay. So just sit tight. There is no need to panic because, hey, I've got you. In the case you aren't already following me on social media, you can find me over on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice. Again, that's at Stafford Voice. On Grassfire, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're at, whatever your social site of choosing is, just search for the Stafford Voice, and, well, we're probably going to be there. So, fuck it. Just subscribe wherever you have to. Also, since you're going to be over on online anyway, you need to do yourself a favor, because one of the things that we're going to start doing is we're going to have a once-a-month giveaway. It's going to be super incredible in my eyes. I think it's really, really cool. But we're going to team up with guys like Rebel Road Tactical. We're going to find some local companies. Obviously, we've got a great connection with Crazy Good Eats. For those of you that don't know, it's a local barbecue joint. Absolutely fascinating. The owners are just as incredible as the food. They've agreed to help us out with some giveaways as well. Maybe we'll even figure out a way to ship some cookies out to you. We'll figure something out. We'll make it happen. But so here's what you have to do. The only way you are going to get contest details is if you subscribe to our monthly newsletter. And I realize that typically it comes out on the 15th of every month. I'm a couple of days behind, but that's okay. I've been working on keeping this rig that powers this show. I'm trying to keep it under wraps and keep my eye on things. We did some upgrades. We thought maybe it was overheating. We thought maybe we had a power supply issue. We've hopefully fixed those. But The only way you're going to get contest details is if you are a subscriber to our monthly newsletter. It's really, really easy. If you're in any of the chat rooms, these guys can testify to you how easy it is to sign up, and that the stuff you get in the monthly newsletter is stuff you will not get anywhere else. I really enjoy putting it together just as much as I do some of the history stuff that we talk about here on the show. So head over to thestaffordvoice.com. Either at the top of the page or bottom right-hand corner, there's going to be an option for you to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Do yourself a favor. If you want to be able to enter into any of these contests, that's the only way you'll be able to get your information on what you have to do. Okay, now that we've got a lot of those formalities and crap out of the way, let's get into it. But before I get into talking about, John, you did not have to sign your life away and guarantee your firstborn. You did not. 20 grit condom. Okay, writing that one down. Who said that? I don't know who said that. Oh, John did earlier. Oh, I can't keep up with the chat rooms because you guys are chatting it up like crazy. I don't know if you missed me or missed chatting with each other. Anyway, okay. I need to update you on that. One of the other things that I was working on behind for the sensitive touch, Jesus, criminy. Okay, one of the other ideas that I had was trying to figure out a way to increase the feel of community with the show. I've got an idea. So if you want to be one of those quote-unquote beta testers, if you want to be one of those beta testers with me, let me know. Reach out to me on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. You can even send me an email, thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Let me know that you want to, and I'm sorry, Tina, that you're having to put up with this. These men are silly, okay? So, look, this is more than just quote-unquote groupies, okay? This is a place that I want to be able to build a community around not only the show, but topics and things that interest you guys, and that way we can better get a feel and a handle on what you guys want to talk about. Because after all, you guys kind of the things that I see you guys talk about on social media are some of the very topics that we talk about here on the show. I don't go out and data mine like the government, but I do. I peek around and see what you guys are talking about, and I dig into them, and if I find it interesting, then I'll talk about it. And we've got a couple of things that, let's see, yeah, that one was from something that I saw from one of you guys. Yeah. Maybe explosives if you're in the mood. Beta test MREs and alcohol. I can do the MREs, but you guys know I can't do the alcohol. Anyway, okay, now, before I get into some of the topics, especially jumping ship, I've got two things I wanted to say. One thing we are not going to cover on this show. That is at least for tonight. And yes, I'd be in if we were testing explosives. You guys know I got a soft spot for that. Not this one up here. Not this soft spot, because it's still soft. Hasn't really, the tectonic plates haven't fused together. Okay. The whole Russia, Trump, the general in the room, I'm going to leave that stuff right now to the likes of Alex Jones. And listen, the global elitists are like the Washington Post are gonna tell you that the Russians are involved and they're ready to skin you alive. But if you take my super male vitality that we've got in stock, okay, we've got a full supply of super male vitality, so sign up on the Easy Gift Plan, and we will send it to you right off the bat every month. We're not doing the Russia-Trump stuff tonight. And for good reason. This stuff is coming out just as fast. The reason I buy stock in tinfoil manufacturers. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Okay. Where do I even want to begin? There, look at this is the stuff for tonight's show. So let's get into it. Something that I'm seeing a lot of over on Twitter is this trend of and we had him on as a guest a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, and that was J.D. Rucker from the Federalist Party. I'm seeing a lot of bugs, or not bugs. I'm seeing a lot of buzz. That is buzz that's coming across Twitter, and I see it even come across on Facebook every now and then. That people are starting to open their eyes and realize the importance of local elections. Now, John, I'm going to kind of pick on you for a little bit tonight, only because you're in California, and I'm going to say that you're partly to blame, but you're not. So this first story, before we even get into jumping ship, let's file this one on the importance of local elections. Now, Refill, thanks for joining us tonight. I see you chatting it up, and we're not going to repeat the first 10 minutes of the show. Anyway, let's talk about this for just a second. California's governor... Who am I missing in the chat? Did I miss somebody? Tina's giving hugs to... Oh, Alan's in the room. He says the frogs are turning gay. Well, I'm not going to assume the gender of them. Anyway, okay, seriously, why... Oh, okay, so this silly chat room that I have to look at now it's got 3 different chats combined into one. I kind of get it, but it's kind of difficult to view. Anyway, okay, so California, the land of the commies. California Governor Jerry Brown was talking. Apparently, the people are starting to dive into state budgets. And they realized that buried deep within California Governor Jerry Brown's budget was billions of dollars allocated and proposed for the state to provide criminal defense for illegal immigrants in California who are facing deportation to their home country by our own federal government. John says frogs can switch gender faster than Bruce Jenner on a sitcom. I would have... I don't know. I don't care what he's sitting on. That's not a show I'm going to watch. Okay. So we've got to rewind a little bit to January in his State of the State speech where he said, quote, "Let me be clear." And no, we're not quoting Obama here. Let me be clear. We're not. No, that guy is over. He says, "We will defend everybody, every man, woman, and child who has come here for a better life and has contributed to the well-being of our state. Never mind the fact that whether they're contributing or not, they're still here illegally. We don't want to touch on that. We just want to say they're productive citizens." Anyway, so basically, California Governor Jerry Brown is allocating taxpayer dollars to fight efforts by the United States to deport people who have entered the country illegally or overstayed their visas illegally in violation to the law. Okay. So how difficult is this stuff to find? Here's how difficult the article describes this. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with what you guys are talking about. Okay, so here's how difficult it was to find this. And John, this is part of it. To find this controversial spending proposal just in the summary document of the budget, you have to comb through to the Department of Social Services section and then read all the way through to page 38 in the Health and Human Services subsection, where you find under, quote, Immigration Services, an increase of $15 million to $30 million, quote, to further expand the availability of legal services for people seeking deportation defense. What in the Sam hell are these ignoramuses in California doing? John, explain. What in the hell are your neighbors doing? What the hell are they putting in the water over there? So, let's figure this. Let's look a little deeper. Legislation authored by State Senate President Pro Tem Kevin De Leon to make California state or a sanctuary state. In addition, the state legislature is obviously producing anti-Trump resolutions, and just last week they announced that California legislature extended a controversial contract for look, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? Former Obama-era Attorney General Eric Holder and his law firm at $25,000 a month focused on taking an aggressive posture against the Trump administration. We're paying Eric Holder and his law firm $25,000 a month? Holy Hannah! Oh. I know, there are people... That's more than some people make a year. Oh, wow. I mean, it's definitely more than this show is bringing in a year. But shameless plug. If you wanted to donate, head over to the StaffordVoice.com upper right-hand corner. Oh, shameless plug. Hey, if you don't ask, nobody's going to know to drop $1 in your hat, right? Okay, so how does this fall into the importance of local elections? Last December, LA Mayor Eric Garcetti announced the creation of the, quote, LA Justice Fund to include $5 million in taxpayer funds, saying that the city would fight for and reach out to people who are American by every measure except the papers they hold. That kind of means that you're not an American. Yeah, it comes down to a silly piece of paper that says you're American or not. Okay, so we all vote for our mayors, right? Yeah, we all vote for our mayors. So if you don't like this and you don't want $5 million in taxpayer funds allocated to help keep illegal immigrants here and fight for them, then vote your mayor out. Okay, in February, San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee allowed the city's public defender's office to use more than $200,000 in $200,000 in savings from the city's budget to hire additional staff attorneys for the defense of illegal immigrants facing deportation. Deport their ass! Seriously, why? And I've got this incredibly disgusting picture of Ann Coulter looking at me staring. So, it's time to vote out San Francisco's mayor. Look up two things. Athlon, a Hispanic-only superstate made up of California, Arizona, and Nevada. Sure, let them have it. Reconquista, reconquering former Mexican territory to revert back to Mexico. They've been trying to do that without a single shot. Did you hear about the new injection therapy treatment of socialism? Yes. I think it enters the body at 1,300 feet per second. Oh, wow. Did I say that? No, I didn't mean to. Yes, I did. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Okay. Most recently, earlier this month, at the request of Sacramento Mayor, again, Mayors, what the hell is wrong with these mayors in California? John, what are you doing? Maybe we should deport them. Let's deport the mayors and see how good they got it down in Mexico. Okay, so Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg, the City Council of California's capital voted unanimously to make $300,000 of city funds available to assist a network of legal, education, and nonprofit groups to help illegal immigrants facing deportation. Why can't we just deport these damn people? Look, I get it. You want to stay here. I want to stay here, but, thankfully, I'm an American. And maybe this is a topic for another show, but I'm of the belief if you really want to be here, look, and I'll admit, the laws and stuff, somebody is over on Twitter talking like crazy. Okay. So, Sam, aka Politabunny, is out retweeting the show. Anyway, fangirl moment. What the hell was I talking about? Okay, so listen. It is extremely difficult, which I support, to become an American citizen. I fully support the idea that it's difficult to do. And it's expensive. But here's the thing. We are allocating so much energy and time and money to fight each other over the idea instead of just getting to work and trying to figure out a way to make it all work. Look, I was in basic training with a guy who was here on a visa with his parents, and we both went to got stationed at Fort Hood together. We both came up on orders to go to South Korea for a year. But and here's how stupid things get. He said, "I don't think I'm going to be able to go because for these last 2 years I've been trying to get my stuff in order. I want to be a citizen. That's why I joined the military." He went through all these waivers and everything in order to be a soldier. He makes it through basic training. He goes through all of this crap. Finally, 2 years later, he still hasn't gotten anywhere. And he's talking about how expensive it is, this and that. And, well, you know what? When the Army wants something done, they make it happen. They wanted his butt over in Korea for a reason. And you know what? Within a week and a half, his paperwork was done. He was an American citizen, and he was going to be cleared to go to South Korea for a year. Woo! Bingo! So don't tell me it's too hard. We've got ways to make this stuff work. I'm not saying we need to make it extreme and super easy, but we need to really figure things out. Is it going to take building a wall? No. That's not going to work. We've been talking about sealing off our damn borders since Kennedy and beyond. Every president since Kennedy has talked about immigration. Not one single damn kook has figured out a way to make it work. No, because it's job security. Oh, speaking of job security, let's move on. Instead of talking about this BS, I didn't even realize I was going to talk that much about it. Oh, son of a biscuit eater. Uh-oh. Sam says we're live kicking ass and taking names. I'm not taking names, I'm just writing them down and I'll come get you. I'll come get you later. So, Sam, if you're watching, let me know if you're over on the YouTube and you want to chat with the rest of us. Pipe in and say hey. All you gotta, if you're on your smartphone, all you gotta do is scroll all the way to the very bottom. You will kind of lose the option to watch, but you can go down there, and that's how you can leave a comment. Let us know which chat room you're in or how you're watching. I don't know, but I see you out there, Sam. Okay. So speaking of this hideous picture of, and look, you guys look at it for a second. You guys look at it. I don't want to look at her anymore. She's been staring at me for like an hour. Ann Coulter. She says that she's almost ready to jump ship on President Trump. And this came from an interview with the Daily Caller. Says that she's ready to bail on President Donald Trump over his lack of delivery on promises. Hate to say it, but told you so. So the author who penned the book In Trump We Trust, slick, I'm going to repeat that one. One nasty skank. Listen. Really no different than any hooker standing on a street corner. This one, she only cares about one thing, and that's getting her name out there. She doesn't care. She's too scared to look at the facts. This is that I told you so moment. Oh. Okay. Obviously a longtime supporter, because she wrote a damn book called In Trump We Trust. An advocate of the president, backed him wholeheartedly during his election campaign. Yes, we know this. Okay. So, about Trump's promises, Coulter said this. Quote, I'm not very happy with what has happened so far. I guess we have to try to push him to keep his promises. Yeah, that's kind of what we're supposed to do with any elected official, you dingbat. But this isn't North Korea, no shit. Anyway, if he doesn't keep his promises, I'm out. This is why we voted for him. I think everyone who voted for him knew his personality was grotesque. Grotesque. Yeah, let's go with that. It was the issues. No, it really wasn't the issues. I mean, he was just the one saying what everybody else wanted to be heard. What else did this dingbat say? Okay, though she's reluctant in continuing her support of Trump, she refused to apologize for her past support. Why? Because she wants to keep selling her book, Trump We Trust. Quote, I don't apologize for supporting Trump. She should. He said all the right things and nobody else would even say it. I suppose it's possible that another politician that really meant it would come along. There were plenty of them that said this stuff. I got to tell you, when I wrote Adios America, I thought there was a 10% chance of saving this country. On the evening of November 8th, I thought, wow, we have a 90% chance. Now, this is a chance that comes along once every 1,000 years. Seriously, 1,000 years? This broad's been around since the Bible was being written. Hey, Coulter, how many gold coins did you get for betraying? Anyway, wow, ouch. We can save America now. Now, I don't know. I'm someplace between 10% and 90%. Wait a minute. What the? Yeah, that's pretty broad, like you. Not a pretty broad, but she's a broad nonetheless. 10%, she's somewhere between 10% and 90%. That doesn't leave very much left. I seriously think my anus has more of a brain than this broad. Okay, so now, is the blame game over? No. She goes on to say, I do, of course, blame Congress, most of all. She said over Trump's perceived lack of success so far in his presidency, quote, they are swine. They only care about their own careers. Eat your own medicine. Who knows how much of it is corruption and how much of it is pure stupidity? Anyway. Get ready for your sad face emojis on this one. The president stands alone, she continued. All we have is millions of Americans behind him, but he doesn't have anybody in Washington behind him. Coulter concluded on a chilling note. I think all of the Trump true believers are petrified. Yeah, because they realize they wasted their damn vote on Trump. I seriously think that she ate too much of the Trumpsicle that whole time during the election cycle. Who is the idiot that I was quoting? That was no less than Ann Coulter. Oh, you can't even call her a conservative. You can call her a Blue Falcon. Oh yeah, all day, every day. But conservative, no. Opportunist, yes. Just like Tommy and Milo and a whole host of other ones. Anyway. Okay. That's enough talking about jumping ship. We've got to move on to something a little more. I'm curious, what is the dislike of Coulter all about? I've heard other conservatives say the same thing, and I've never understood why. No, she's not a conservative. I don't think she's a conservative. What's wrong with the she-male? Damien, yeah, let's just leave it at that. I'll listen to any commentator. Jessica says she's listened to any commentator once. For Coulter, that time passed. Yeah, about 5 or 6 years ago. She changes her position like I changed my tighty-whities. Wow. Slick, you change your tighty-whities 3 times a day? Anyway. Refill, I'm going to refer you over to Army John to explain what a Blue Falcon is. Thank you. It's a term from the military. Yes, the Army, we used it all the time. We called people Blue Falcons all the time. When we got screwed over by our buddies standing next to us, they were Blue Falcons. Okay, we all want to go to college, right? Get a better education? Okay. Listener note, yes, we do. That's kind of a... I'll talk more about it later, and I may even touch on it in the newsletter. By the way, if you haven't heard, when we're going to start doing a once a month giveaway. The only way to know what the terms and conditions apply. See website for details. No, you have to see the monthly newsletter. That's the only way. So head over to thestaffordvoice.com. Top of the webpage or bottom right hand corner. It will allow you the option to sign up for our monthly newsletter. It's really, really easy. That's the only way you're going to be able to enter. You're not going to find the instructions anywhere else. They're not going to be on the website. They're not going to be on anywhere on social media. That's the only way to get the information. Okay. So, yeah, I'm working on something to really kind of educate each one of us. So that's what I have to say about free education. It's going to come with a price, but the price will be pretty much on me at this point. Monthly newsletter is finger licking good. Well, John, I would say thank you, but Tina's kind of upset at Slick right now because he's talking about his undies. Okay. So we're all interested in college, right? Some of us went, some of us are going now, some of us will go soon. However, file this one in the what the fuck moment, okay? Seriously, look, soft spots, if I had a tinfoil hat right now, I would probably be, maybe that's what we can sell. We can custom make tinfoil hats for this kind of BS. Because seriously, this kind of stuff cannot be polluting our minds. A South Florida University, let's see, Florida Memorial University, awarded an honorary degree. Okay, there's a lot of people that get honorary degrees. Hell, Obama got a couple of honorary degrees. This episode of the Stafford R-rated for language. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of extra button pushing after the show, whatever, making sure that gets out. Anyway. Okay. So they've awarded an honorary degree. To who, you might ask? Trayvon Martin. Yes, these opportunists can't get away from the limelight. Trayvon Martin's parents, Sabrina Fulton and Tracy Martin, took the stage at Florida Memorial University's commencement in Miami Gardens to receive a posthumous bachelor's degree in aeronautical science. Look, my cousin has a degree in aeronautical engineering. This is a complete blow to the last... How many years has she gone to college? 12 to 15 years of college. She has a doctorate, right? Yes, just recently got her doctorate, okay?
And she's married.
Married, has 2 kids. Her husband's in the Air Force. I don't know if I can honestly, I don't know if I was supposed to say that. Anyway, I don't use their names. Yes, Tina, this dead kid gets a degree. You obviously remember the name, Trayvon Martin, 17-year-old who was shot and killed by George Zimmerman, who feared for his life, back in 2012 after Trayvon reportedly slammed George Zimmerman's head onto the concrete, who was, yes, that's right, later acquitted of all charges. Why? Well, we all know he couldn't serve out his sentence. Look, we know education is important, right? So even when you're dead, you can put in the work. Now, apparently, because he couldn't make it, his parents were the ones that they've paid their respect. They gave their speech, this and that, blah blah blah. They said their remarks. Look, how much more stupid could this be? This is like giving Mike Brown a degree in criminal justice. Seriously, think about this for a moment. Mike Brown needs to be and if his parents don't riot or call for rioting, they need to. Honorary college degrees matter. Okay? Hands up. Honorary college degrees matter. I don't know if you can fit that in a tweet. Seriously, Mike Brown needs to be awarded an honorary degree in criminal justice, because that's really what this means. Okay, let's get on to what they said, because here's what I think is important. All that Alex Jones crap earlier really messes with your throat. Okay, so here's what his mom says. Quote, "To the graduates, I tell you, there is no limit to what you can do. Just stay focused and put your mind to it, and you can do it." Who in the hell is she talking to? How many dead people get honorary degrees? How many fucking dead guys show up to a commencement speech to say, I died for this? Let's continue, shall we? Trayvon's father said he was deeply moved by this community's show of support. Quote, "Today was just a prime example of what our community is built on, and just watching all of the 2017 graduates come across the stage and just to share that moment with them. It was very powerful." For who? The living? Oh, my word. Seriously, what the hell is wrong with people? Oh, yes, Tina. Oh, my God. Oh. Now, you're going to be praying for help for this next story, and I'm sorry. I'm going to buzz through it really quick because this... And then we'll get on with... Then we will get on with our profiles in history, which by far and away is the best part of this whole show tonight. What? There's been entertaining? Well, I mean, that's entertaining. The whole idea that a dead guy gets a... He did. He worked really hard. Blood, sweat, and tears, and... Okay, so the blood was really a bad reference because he had a bullet hole. Okay. This... Who in the hell is telling me to calm... Who's telling me to calm down? No, I'm not going to calm down. This crap is fucking ridiculous. Speaking of which, this is the face of evil. This woman is the face of evil, just like... Let me see if I can get this one squared in. That way, that lady... Is he talking to the wife or the cat? I'm talking to the wife. The cat is gone and conked out on... Well, she's not talking right now. She's probably in there taking notes, plotting our demise. He had to decompose his thesis. I get it, Al. Oh. Okay. So the first picture that we gave you... First one, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to give this woman very much screen time, so that's why I didn't put together the graphic to show you on the screen. I'll try and get better at that. Anyway, obviously it is the feminist icon herself, Gloria Steinman, who in an interview with Refinery 29 says that climate change can be directly correlated to a lack of abortion. I'm just going to continue. She said that, okay, so if you don't, here's the backstory with Steinman. She's 83 years old, and she helped popularize the controversial t-shirt that said, "I got an abortion." She says that that climate change is a, quote, feminist issue, because world overpopulation could have been avoided if abortions were more readily accessible to women. Okay. Here's what her quote is. Quote, "Listen, what causes climate deprivation is population. If we had not been systematically forcing women to have children they don't want or don't care for over the 500 years of patriarchy, we wouldn't have the climate problems that we have. That's the fundamental cause of climate change." Even if the Vatican doesn't tell us that. In addition to that, because women are the major agricultural workers in the world, and also the carriers of water and the feeders of families and so on, it's a disproportionate burden. You know what's a disproportionate burden? How many... And... Okay, I gotta give a shout out to my wife. She would not let me... She's gonna deny this. She told me not to make the prop. You didn't deny it. I'm an honest... You told me not to make the prop. I've got the drill sitting over there. I was gonna get one of those mixers. Put 2 and 2 together, you get tonight's prop. It was gonna be really disgusting. I didn't have any used coat hangers that we could have used for a prop. What? Listen, Planned Parenthood is a bargain abortion clinic. Okay? That's it. Listen, for 4 easy payments of $9.95, you can get your bargain abortion. Anyway. Shipping and handling is free. But if you act now, they'll throw in an extra one. Baby in a blender? Ooh, frog in a blender? I didn't say it, John said it. They're a bad influence on me tonight. I can't take responsibility. How in the hell am I supposed to take responsibility? We're giving degrees to dead guys. We can't control climate change by aborting people. We could. Let's give every single aborted baby a goddamn degree in evolutionary tactics.
Or being a doctor or something.
Yes, in medicine.
An OBGYN.
Yes, there you go. Every aborted fetus gets an honorary degree in gynecology.
Well, and then see, that makes sure.
This is a whole family-oriented show tonight, aside from the language warnings. Okay. Calm down. Woosah. That crap doesn't work. Namaste doesn't work either, and that's not even, you're using that in the wrong context. Yeah, that's because it's like saying hi and thank you. It's not like, here, I spread my legs, rip out a baby. Okay, this next story kind of goes in line with abortions. Why? Well, because at last night's, or no, wasn't last night. It wasn't last night. What the hell was I thinking? Anyway, at Planned Parenthood's 100-year anniversary gala, I got you covered on the radio side. You're on a roll. No need to stop. What do you mean? I'm still good on time. I got like 10 minutes. Okay. So Hillary Clinton was awarded Planned Parenthood's Champion of the Century Award. Yeah, I think we all wish that Hillary Clinton would have had an abortion. That wasn't nice. You shouldn't say things like that.
I didn't say.
Oh, well, thank you, Sean. You think I'm so good looking. It's handsome. Anyway, okay, so Clinton brought up the Hulu series, The Handmaid's Tale. Okay, Tina, I need to get one of those, I gotta get one of those buttons. I gotta look into getting one of those buttons so I can beep out stuff. It gets kind of difficult to mute my own words as I'm talking, so I do tend to get carried away. Anyway, I'll mark it as explicit. Everybody we're gonna be okay. Okay. Okay, so at her acceptance speech, she defended abortion as an issue of morality that she was taking the higher ground on, and that by itself got her a standing ovation. Let's get into what she said, because this is such a ridiculous quote. I was going to use this as a who said that, but I didn't think I was going to have time to get to it. Anyway, we're just going to do it. She said, "What a time it is to be holding this centennial. Just ask those who've been watching The Handmaid's Tale, a book I read and was captivated by years ago. Now, I'm not suggesting that this future is around the corner, but this show has prompted important conversations about women's rights and autonomy. In A Handmaid's Tale, women's rights are gradually, slowly stripped away. As one character says, we didn't look up from our phones until it was too late. It's not too late for us, but we have to encourage the millions of women and men who support Planned Parenthood's mission to keep fighting. And to paraphrase Margaret Atwood, we can never let them write us down. Progress is never fully won. It has to be renewed generation after generation, and we stand on the shoulders of the women and men who came before us." It's kind of funny that she's talking about the men and women who came before us as we're talking about abortions. Anyway, if you come before us, then you're not going to have to, you'll have to worry about it. Okay, and march alongside young activists who are leading the way forward. Some of you have heard me say that I have this new mantra that popped into my head during my long walks in the woods. You know that angry, nasty cackle that she has. I highly recommend long walks in the woods. It is far healthier than screaming at your television set. Yay! And so just remember 4 words: resist, insist, persist, enlist. Can you imagine Trigglypuff sitting there in class, banging her hands on the thing, and just, that's her workout for the century. Resist, insist, persist, enlist, resist, insist. Okay, so The Handmaid's Tale, back in 1985, all of the leftist propagandists like Hillary Clinton praised The Handmaid's Tale. If you haven't watched it, it's not that bad of a show. I think it's kind of funny, the fact that the left is all up in arms about this, thinking that Trump is going to wind up pushing us to this dystopian type of this biblically ruled thing, and it's going to be so bad, and well, but back in 1985 when this first came out, you were cheering for it. In the quote of Hillary, "At this point, what difference does it make?" Oh, the hinges came loose on that biatch a long time ago. Okay, let's change things up. Let's give you something else to look forward to, and that is this week's Profiles in History. He knew how many of his constituents wanted him to vote. The Quakers didn't want war, and the Loyalists favored reconciliation. On the side of independence stood Franklin and Wilson. On the side against were Dickinson, Morris, Humphreys, and Willing. On July 1st, 1776, he voted against independence, giving Pennsylvania 5-4. By nightfall, his mind would change. John Morton was born near Chester, Pennsylvania in 1724. He was named after his father, who sadly passed away just before his birth. His mother remarried to a man named John Sketchley. And John developed a warm affection for young Morton, educating him in mathematics and in the skill of surveying. Around 1748, Morton married Anne Justice. Like many surveyors at the time, he was often called in to settle disputes. Soon he was made Justice of the Peace, and from there it was a small step into broader politics. At the age of 32, he was elected to the Colonial General Assembly of Pennsylvania, where he served for close to 2 decades. The introduction of the Stamp Act would send Morton to New York as a delegate to the 1765 Stamp Act Congress. He would also serve in local capacities, such as acting as High Sheriff from 1766 to 1770, and in state offices, such as being a judge and even becoming the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Appeals of Pennsylvania in April 1774. Now, in 1774, he was sent as a delegate to the First Continental Congress, where Benjamin Rush said he was, quote, a plain farmer, and added that he, quote, was well acquainted with the principles of government and of public business. Morton's moment of greatness came during the first few days of July in 1776. Pennsylvania had sent 7 men to Congress that season, and they were bitterly divided over the issue of independence. Pennsylvania was largely a Loyalist and Quaker colony. The most vocal delegate, Quaker John Dickinson, had been fighting the independence issue in debate for a month. He felt it was too soon to press for independence, and he insisted that Congress resign itself to diplomacy and reconciliation with Parliament. At the other end of the Pennsylvania spectrum was Benjamin Franklin, who had renounced all allegiance to the king and was ready for independence. Morton, a moderate, was solidly on the fence. He personally supported Lee's resolution, but he knew that the citizens of the region he represented were against. A total of 4 Pennsylvania delegates were leaning toward nay, with only the delegation's senior man, Franklin, and his friend, Judge James Wilson, coming down in favor of the resolution. 4-2, with 1 fence-sitter. In an informal vote on July 1st, Pennsylvania was solidly against independence, 5-2. It looked as if the nays had it. But, over the course of the night, the yea-leaning delegates worked their powers of persuasion of the recalcitrant representatives, and by morning the tide had turned. Dickinson and fellow naysayer Robert Morris chose a path that allowed history to take its course without them having to take a stand against it. Basically, they played hooky. They left 2 delegates, Thomas Willing and Charles Humphreys, casting votes against, and 2 delegates, Franklin and Wilson, casting votes in favor. The ball landed in Morton's court. Seconds ticked by. His vote would make or break independence, and make or break his reputation back home. He voted in favor of independence, tilting Pennsylvania into the yay column. And on August 2nd, Morton joined the other delegates in signing the Declaration of Independence. Later, Morton headed the Committee of the Whole that adopted the Articles of Confederation, although he wouldn't live to see the document ratified. Back home, Morton's vote turned longtime friends and supporters against him. It wasn't too long after this that he contracted a fever, likely tuberculosis. On his deathbed, he addressed himself to his critics, speaking words that would be chiseled into an obelisk monument at his grave. He said, quote, "Tell them that they will live to see the hour when they shall acknowledge it to have been the most glorious service I ever rendered to my country." In April of 1777, John Morton, the first of all 56 signers, passed away. And that is this week's Profiles in History. Okie dokie. Let's flip this over to that. Okay. Sorry, I'm checking the time, and we're out. That's all the time we have for this week. Stay tuned for a little bit of the After the Show if the rig handles it. Okay, because as you guys know, about an hour into this, it completely shuts down. So hopefully the modifications we've made to it, it's going to allow us to continue on. Okay, now I want to remind you, if you have not done so, sign up for our monthly newsletter so you can be in the know on... you like the hair, Sean? You like the hair? You like that? Okay, you're like blushing over there. I think you like it too much, pal. Calm down, buddy. Okay. Yes, make sure you sign up for our monthly newsletter. That's the only way you'll be able to get information on how to enter into our monthly giveaways. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it is all the time we have for this week. God willing, the Stafford Voice will be back next week. You can follow me on Twitter at Stafford Voice. Look me up on Facebook by searching for the Stafford Voice. Email your questions, comments, or concerns, hate mail, love mail, whatever it is, to thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time tonight. And until next week, thanks and God bless.